It is 12:30 in the afternoon here on Wednesday, August 5th, I believe, 2026. And it's pretty hot. I didn't check the temperature. It's in the 90s, upper 90s, probably closer to 99 or 100. And I've been doing a lot of soul searching about the parasite problem that I have. I should probably mention I haven't had any of these sheep tested. I don't have definitive proof that it is, in fact, parasites or even what kind of parasite it is. I'm just assuming, based on the symptoms, that the sheep that are struggling with the barber pole parasite. And I think I figured out how it's being transmitted, and I'll show it to you right now. So I'm standing in what's going to be the next row. When I move these guys, they're going to end up here. And then that right there, that's a recent manure from the sheep. Now the parasites, when they hatch and they move around, they only move about 10 inches from that manure. But the point is that by the time I move them here, that's when the worms are going to be active. Now thankfully, that particular piece of manure is probably going to be sterilized because of the temperature that we're at. So there might be a little bit of a reprieve here from the parasite problem, but it doesn't help the sheep that already have the parasites inside of them. So my plan is, and I don't know if I've talked about this in detail, but I'm going to start worming the sheep. But if I worm a sheep, they're going to leave the farm. So I'm not going to hold on to them. I'm just going to take them and sell them. I'm going to be aggressively culling from here on out until I get good stock that can, thrive on my pasture, as well as that won't become wormy and won't spread, worms all over the place. And I think there's quite a few of them that are doing really good. So the next time I pin them up, which is hopefully this Saturday morning, I'm going to take a look at their condition. Like this one's weak. This one's obviously wormy. It's got a little bit of the scours or something going on behind there. She's also skinny. If they're skinny, they're probably wormy. I'm going to check I'm not trained in Fibonacci, but I'm going to check their eyelid. If their eyelid color is very light or white, and I'm going to deworm them. And if I deworm them, I'm going to keep them in the pen there, and I'm going to feed them. Another sign is bottle jaw. I'm going to feed them and then sell them. So load them up and sell them as soon as I can. And I'll be sure to tell people that, hey, these are cull sheep. These are not ones that I want to be bred. People can do what they want with their own herd, but I'm not buying from the sale barn. The other thing I need to do is be more aggressive about sheep that break out of the row. Make sure, I have 3 wires here. Yesterday I came out and probably about 10 sheep had broken out. This post was lifted out of the ground by the wires because I'm kind of in a low spot here. I don't know if the camera can really show, but there's kind of a low spot where it's a little bit darker green. And this post was pulled out. So I put it back, put the sheep back, put it back. But that's why I have the manure in the next rows from those sheep that broke out. So I got to be more aggressive about that. Maybe put up 4 or 5 wires, Make sure the grounding is good on both sides of the fence. Make sure it's hot. So if a sheep decides to test the wire, they get a good zap. And they know that they're not supposed to do that. But it looks, strangely enough, it looks like the sheep are improving. I'm trying to look for ones that I knew had bottle jaw, like this one with this one here was somewhat far along with bottle jaw. It seems like she's recovering. Her left front hoof is a little bit sore. I want to get in there and fix all the hooves I can. And actually, they look like they're putting on weight. I think that's Lady sitting down there chewing her cud and looking at me with a dirty face. We had, I think it was back in 22 or 23, we had a little bit of a pasture fire here. And it left soot in the dirt for a long time. So when sheep would graze in this part of the pasture, they'd get black noses from the soot. And it looks like it's still there's still places where there's still soot, you know. That Barbados right there is actually a little bit of a bottle jaw. I'll have to check her out. But looks like there's ticks all over this guy's ears. Apparently you're supposed to remove the ticks mechanically. Just grab some tweezers and pull them off. I find wire cutters. You just reach down with the wire cutters and just almost close them, and it provides leverage in the right spot. They come right out. Yeah, so this Saturday I bought the supplies for sheep drench. I'll give the ones that are weak basically Gatorade. I'll give them some vitamins. I'll give them some iron, and I'll give them 2 kinds of dewormer because I haven't dewormed any of these sheep. I think the ones that I bought were dewormed right before I got them a little bit, but I haven't dewormed any. And so for most of these sheep, it'll be the first time in 2 years they've ever had dewormer, you know. So anyway, yeah, I think that's what started it off. Was the sheep were breaking out, they were dropping manure, and then I was moving them onto that manure, and then it started like compounding. I think early in the summer we had a very wormy field where the worms were just having a heyday, and that was the wrong time to have sheep break out. But yeah, just longer periods of rest. Look, here's some more manure. It's all over here. And this manure isn't pebbles because they're probably wormy. So this is probably wormy manure. But hopefully this hot, dry weather will sterilize the worms. So, and then we got some shade. We got some shade from that tree. We got some shade from those trees. Up until about the end of the row, the pasture. I'm in almost the southernmost row of the pasture. But I think next year I'm going to put some money into this land. I'm going to run water down the center of the pasture. Maybe branch it out so that I can like water anywhere in the pasture with 200 feet of hose. And we're going to rotate a lot more slowly, a lot more deliberately, especially with the sheep. Put a little more pressure on the ground when they go through, condense their manure, and then like try to get, if possible, only visiting the same spot of ground twice in a year. You know, 180 days of rest in the summer, every single worm should be dead with that. And in the winter, 180 days is the recommended rest period. And then I don't know what I'm going to do about the pen, because I do have to pen them up from time to time. But if the sheep don't have worms to begin with, or if they're strong and healthy, they should be able to resist the worms when the worms come. And if I get rid of the wormy sheep, so I don't have any wormy sheep, then it shouldn't be an issue if I have to pin them up every couple weeks. And I was thinking also of using mobile pins. I have like 6 handy panels. I could probably put them together and build a little pen. And just do a makeshift like mobile pen, so I'm pinning up in the pasture rather than in the same spot of ground. I'll look into it, but yeah. Anyway, all in all, I think I'm doing okay. You know, I did lose quite a few sheep a couple weeks ago, but I think I'm doing okay. Guys, have a great day. Take care and bye-bye.